What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for the Status Atlanta Hustle or ATL Hustle season 1 episode. I don't even know. I don't know. I think we on 6. We just came back from a hiatus. Y'all know how shows now do these mid-season breaks, these fall breaks. Okay, well, they had a summer break. They had a little mid-season break because it's probably been, what, 3 weeks since we've had an original episode, because we had the blooper reel. Then last week we had the special episode because they were having some issues uploading, and they said we would have an episode in 3 or 4 days, but it was really another week. Then they loaded it, and then it was taken down by YouTube, and then they had to upload it again. So I don't know the behind the scenes, and I'm not going to question or judge because I don't know the situation. But what I do know is your new show, it's a new season, you want to keep your fans. But it seems like people have been kind of waiting for it, so we'll see. Now, I'm going to say this episode ain't a way to do it. Some really great things happened this episode. I just feel like it didn't need to be the whole episode, but we'll get there. I don't know what the whole copyright situation is, but I don't think the way to handle it is to put up a message saying fuck copyrights when you're producing a show that you probably don't want people to steal without having to pay you. Right? Right? That's the purpose of copyrights. And I'm done. I don't need 5 minutes of recaps. I really don't. I've seen all episodes. I felt like I was watching the episodes again. So I had to fast forward through everything because none of that was relevant. And none of it was relevant to the episode. Like, if you showed us the scene where Sherrod was talking about how he was going to be walking in New York Fashion Week when he made that announcement in the first episode, and then you showed us the scene where Adrian was talking to KL about their situation in New York Fashion Week, and then you showed the scene where Milan talked about how he's from New York and he's into fashion and stuff. That would have been sufficient enough to set this episode up. But I digress. Done. The episode. It is all about New York. I believe it's called The New York State of Mind. We've got the Alicia Keys Jay-Z song playing through a whole lot of the episode. There's a new intro, and it's actually Charlie XCX's song that I actually like is in the intro. And so it looks like it's a new intro, and that's cool. You guys use your time off wisely. You gave us some new stuff to look at. And then we see where Adrian and Milan are in New York, and Milan is showing Adrian around his city. You know, Adrian has never been to New York. Adrian has never been on a plane. Let me say this too, and this isn't to Adrian. Okay, this is not directed to Adrian. This is directed to everybody. And this has nothing to do with me being a reviewer or nothing like that. This is just me talking to people, especially black people. Y'all, we got to do better. We have got to do better about seeing the world. We have got to do better about getting out. Adrian, you too old to never have been on a plane, boo. And I'm not knocking you, because a lot of people who've never been on a plane, because even if you've never been on a plane, make sure you have traveled. And maybe you have traveled extensively, just not to New York, okay? And for that, if I made an assumption, I'm sorry. But he was saying how he had never been on a plane and he'd never been to New York. Y'all, we gotta see what is out here in this world, and we gotta understand that this world is beyond us. And I know everybody don't have the means to do it, and I'm not not judging anybody. Get in a car, drive. Get in a rental, drive. You know, but neither here nor there. I'm not dwelling. I'm glad that you've been on a plane now. I'm glad you've had that experience. I'm glad that you have gone to New York, and your first time in New York was for such a wonderful experience. So Milan is showing him around town, and they're doing the touristy things. It looks like it's wintertime. It's cold as hell. But for the purposes of the show, and for the purposes of Adrian being able to see as much of New York as he could in the time that he was there, they did a lot of movement and they saw a lot of things, and it was cool. And they had some decent conversations. And Milan seems like he's sort of concerned about Sherrod coming, because he made some shady ass comments to Sherrod, and he's a little nervous about how Sherrod is going to receive him now. And remember he made the comments about that not being Sherrod's apartment, and of course, he was one of the people that made comments about the porn. Everybody had something to say about the porn piece of it. And so he was a little nervous about that, but of course he was excited about the opportunity to participate in New York Fashion Week, and so that was a great thing. Now, I'm a little confused, and again, clear me up in them comments, or Milan, you could clear me up in my, just let me know. I thought in Milan's intro, he said that he had been a part of New York Fashion Week before, like that was something he had done. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Because I remember him, or at least I feel like I remember him not being that impressed when Sherrod said he was going to be walking. But I could be wrong, because that was, the first episode was 3-4 months ago. So I could be wrong. And I ain't going back to watch it. But neither here nor there. He's walking in the show. So then we see Sherrod get to New York. Him and Adrian are talking. And basically, they're talking about the show and everything, but then they're also sort of... Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me rewind all the way to the beginning. The episode actually starts off with the fight between Adrian and Akeem. And part of the reason why I guess I forgot to recap that is because it just wasn't... The majority of the episode was about New York, and I just forgot about that little piece at the beginning. But it showed them fighting or whatever. I don't understand. Adrian gave him a Judas kiss. I'm going to call it the Judas kiss. Because Adrian, they in the middle of arguing. And Adrian leans over and gives Hakeem a kiss. And Hakeem actually flipped. I mean, he did what Hakeem does. He acted a fool. He acted a fool about it. But I probably would have been looking at you a little crazy too. If I'm in the middle of fighting with somebody or having an argument with somebody and they lean over and kiss me, I don't really know what my reaction to that would be either. And I don't know if Adrian's reason for doing that was to diffuse the situation. I don't know what his reason for that was. So it made me think. Like I said, that's why I said I feel like it's a Judas kiss. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the story in the Bible where Judas let the Romans know that he would identify Jesus by the kiss. And that's how everybody would know who Jesus was. And that's how he betrayed Jesus. I kind of feel like that's what Adrian was doing. Because I don't know any other reason for him to be kissing Hakeem in the middle of a damn fight. But neither here nor there. So that was that. They were arguing. Because really Adrian was defending Milan, which I respect. But that's what that was about. So, back to New York. So, Sherrod and Adrian are talking, and they're just kind of talking about... They're talking about New York Fashion Week and everything, but then they also sort of start talking about the group and back in Atlanta. And Sherrod is like, yeah, I really haven't been around. I really haven't been coming around the group because I just been really focusing on my bag and focusing on doing all the things I said I wanted to do. And I feel like when Sherrod made this big proclamation at the beginning of the show that he was moving in a different direction, he was going to let his porn go, and he was going to do some other things, I think now he's sort of on a mission to prove everybody that he was serious. Because there was so many naysayers and so many people sort of kind of gave him the side eye. I think he felt like, okay, well, I got to prove to them that I meant what I said. And so he said that that's just what he's been doing, and that's why he really hasn't been around. He said, but don't worry. He said, I'm sorry, y'all, that's my phone. He said, but don't worry. I know people been saying some stuff about me. I know some stuff been going on. I don't even know where I left off, y'all. Sorry about that. I had to just cut somebody out real quick. But, alright, so they were talking about that, and Sherrod was like, I think that's where I left off with. Sherrod was saying how he ain't really been hanging with them people, but he know they've been talking about him. We'll get back to that. So then, okay. Adrian and this whole KL situation. Now, here's the thing. I feel like there's a whole lot to this story that they are choosing not to let us know about. And I think they said that KL is one of the producers. So maybe he doesn't want this information out or doesn't want that part of the story out. Maybe it doesn't paint him in the best of light. I don't know. But I do know there was a scene with him and Adrian a few episodes back talking about Fashion Week that didn't make no fucking sense. And I said it in my review then. I don't really understand what they talking about or what the problem is, because it seemed like there was some tension in that meeting or there was some problems with that meeting that didn't make sense then. Now we fast forward. We are at New York Fashion Week. Adrian is working on the fashion show. I believe it's KL's designs, but Adrian is styling or something to that effect. And they are arguing, and the producers give us this whole story about how they had an argument that got heated and they had to calm everybody down, and then they decided the show was part of the argument. And these motherfuckers are arguing over a plug and a steamer. Which clearly means either A, that argument was manufactured for the purposes of a scene, or B, it's way more going on and that's all they chose to let us see. Or C, when people argue about dumb shit, there are bigger issues in the background. So they may have truly had this big knockdown drag out fight over plugs and a steamer, but it was really something else going on that they weren't addressing. So I don't know which one it was. I really hope it wasn't A, because I really hope that they didn't go through all of this and go through that whole scene for over manufacture. Because if you're going to manufacture a scene, you could have found something better for y'all to be arguing about than a damn steamer and a plug. But I do think that everybody was nervous. I do think that people are on edge. It's a high pressure situation. You know, as far as KL is concerned, he's a designer. This is his name. He's putting it out there. He said that he's done 1 million New York Fashion Weeks and this is no big deal to him. But it's always a big deal when you are putting yourself out there and you're putting your vision and your art and, you know, for other people to judge and critique. It's always going to be a high pressure situation. Adrian, this is his first time there. He wants to make a good impression. He wants to do a good job. Yes, he's done other fashion shows. He's not new to fashion. He's new to Fashion Week. And there's a difference. You know, it's like, yeah, I done won awards before, but I ain't never been up for a Grammy. It's a totally different environment for you winning a Grammy versus you being nominated at a local music award show in your state. You know what I'm saying? So, Adrian, no disrespect. Yes, you probably have absolutely done a lot of other fashion shows, but this was new for you. And he, like he said, I'm a perfectionist. I want things done a certain way. I overthink. And so he probably was stressing out over making sure everything was covered. And KL was like, look, why are we tripping? Yes, they're going to be plugs. Yes, people are going to let you use their steamers. Why are you tripping? So maybe that whole scene just didn't make any sense to me. And KL was really acting a damn fool. Like, he is cussing and fussing. And he is really being extra. He's doing a lot. Like, he was really doing a lot. And I just felt like this is way too much over a steamer and a plug and what's some things called a surge protector. Because he said he asked KL to get one while he went to the store. KL, just say you forgot to get the fucking surge protector, but you think you'll be okay. So anyway, that was that whole scene. I ain't see the purpose in that. They get to the New York Fashion Week. Adrian is clearly still irritated and stressed out because he starts snapping at Milan Jadar. And the two of them sort of kind of get into it. Now, they had been having a really great time. They had went all around, frolicked all through New York City and had drinks and stuff. And they were actually getting along, but they had a moment. But it seems like they recovered. Like, it seemed like they had a moment. Milan understood that he was stressed out. I mean, he was like, don't take it out on me. But he was like, I know you stressed out, but supposedly, because again, Adrian, I guess, was doing the styling, and Adrian was supposed to have stockings for Milan, and there were no stockings. And Milan was like, but my legs aren't shaved and there are no stockings. Okay, look, I refuse to believe that ain't nobody have a goddamn razor. Go shave your damn legs. Even if you chose not to shave your legs before you got there, that's fine. I get that. I get it. You thought you was going to wear stockings? No big deal. Shave your legs now, and we're done. Now, mind you, I've participated in fashion shows before, but never, of course, never New York Fashion Week. So I can't understand the pressure and the nerves and all of that. But for real, y'all, we really get ready to sit here and fight over some goddamn stockings. If you don't go get a damn razor and go shave your damn legs and sit the fuck down till it's time for you to walk. Yes. Adrian, maybe you should have took more time and double checked your list rather than fighting over a damn surge protector. Maybe you should have made sure you had some stockings in your bag. However, it's not that deep. So then Milan and Sherrod have a conversation. Sherrod, let me tell y'all something. Sherrod asked them walk the room and book 3 more damn shows. He had this real cute jacket on, and everybody kept complimenting him on the jacket. And he worked the room. He said he knew some people there from Detroit. His personality, I guess, he does do modeling, he might even had his portfolio with him for all I know. But by the time it was all over said and done, Sherrod walked in 4 different fashion shows when he only showed up to walk in 1. I ain't mad at you. That's what you're supposed to do. Work a room, boo. Work the fucking room. Now, I don't know a whole lot about New York Fashion Week. I think I've said that 20 times. All I know about New York Fashion Week is that it exists. That it's the cream of the crop for fashion. And that's where Project Runway always do their big fashion show at the end of the season. But I'm happy that Sherrod booked 4 shows, but it looked like all 4 shows were at the same venue with the same crowd. So explain that to me. Drop it in them comments and explain it to me, because maybe I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe that's what happens, that they just have like back-to-back shows at these venues, because I know that there are venues all over New York. Like, I know it's not one big place where I know that. And I understand that the bigger designers have the bigger venues for obvious reasons, of course. Like, I get that. But I was like, okay, Sherrod keep walking in different shows, but it's the same they in the same venue. You can see they in the same place. So explain that to me in the comments how that works. And I'm not, I guess it is a little bit of shade, but I don't really mean it to be shade, because I really don't know. So explain it to me. Don't cuss me out. Just explain it to me, because I don't know. But I'm happy for Sherrod. I'm happy for Adrian, because it seemed like the show went off well when it was all over said and done. Milan Jadar walked. I wasn't crazy about that wig. I don't know if they were going for, because they did this whole Black Lives Matter thing. I don't know if that wig was supposed to be like a throwback afro, like a 1960s, 1970s afro. But if it was, I didn't like that wig. I didn't like that look on Milan. Maybe I'm used to seeing him with the long hair when he wears his wigs. I don't know. But I wasn't crazy about that look. So again, if it was an ode to the Black Power movement and like an afro, you could have gotten a better afro. Like, my sisters back in the 60s and 70s, their afros were picked out and froed up and oil sheened out, okay, honey? And that was like a curly clown wig. I wasn't crazy about the wig. I didn't like it. And I didn't think it did anything to accent Milan Jadar's face. And that's just me. But he did his thing. He walked in the show. All of them, Sherrod and Adrian was able to come out and take his bow. And it was great. It was a great event for all of them, and they were all able to they were successful in it. They went up there to do what they came to do, and I think they all achieved their goal. Sherrod, I think, was the winner of the weekend by booking 4 shows when he only went up for 1. But I think all of them did what they went to do, and I thought it was a great thing for them. I was happy for all of them. I hope KL went and took a motherfucking chill pill and calmed the fuck down. Then we had this little random scene at the end. I guess this is supposed to set up for next week's episode, but there was no transition. Like, you just started showing, it looks like what's happening is that Safar was having, like, I almost think about it like a guy's version of a girls' night in. I've had girls' night in for me and my girlfriends where we do our pajamas. I've rented hotel suites before. We've had, like, one time I had somebody come in to do a pole dancing class. So Milan, because Milan's a stripper, he has a pole in his bedroom, and he was showing them moves, and you saw them, it had the music overlay, but you saw them dancing and getting on the pole, and everybody was trying to do a little pole dance. And True Fine acts like it looked like he was actually having a good time. He's smiling and laughing, and they didn't have no confessional of him shading nobody. He stayed. He didn't leave after 5 minutes. He was even on the pole, and he was even twerking and stuff. But I want to say it was Charlie, Milan, Zafar, obviously, it was his house, Sherrod, and True Fine. And they looked like they were really genuinely having a good time. They were laughing and enjoying themselves. They were all in Safar's room, because that's where the pole was. Safar, what you be doing with that pole in your bedroom, though? I know it ain't all for practicing. You doing other stuff on that pole in your bedroom, because you could have had the pole in your living room if it was just for practice. Anyway, but he clearly was showing them how to do some things, and he clearly knew what he was doing on that damn pole, okay? Then we saw Tremel and Corday walk in. Now, remember, Milan and Corday got beef, and I want to say somebody else has an issue with Corday. Is it Sherrod? Because Sherrod hasn't really been around since that first scene with Corday, really. So I really think it's just Milan and Corday, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. I mean, of course, Corday shaded Sherrod, but everybody shaded Sherrod for the whole porn thing. So I'm not gonna single him out because everybody has some shit to say about Sherrod with the porn. Um, but anyway, so that's kind of where the episode ended. It was funny because when Tremel came in, at first Tremel was like, "This is a nice place," and then he was like, "Oh well, yeah, I have been here before." I was like, "Come on, Tremel, remember where you been. Remember where you been." But anyway, yeah, that was no big deal. That was just a little something, something. But yeah, so that was the episode. We'll see what they bring us next week, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.